Hello and welcome into another edition of CD Pickups. Yeah, let's get stuck in because I have a lot to show. First album I'm going to show off is Yomo and Mulkey, or Markey, I think it's actually pronounced. Their first and only album came out in 1991 on Ruthless Records. A pretty good album. I do like this album. I think it's pretty dope. The entire thing was produced by DJ Yella. DJ Yella never gets his props as a producer, but he did great stuff back in the day, especially on Eazy-E's second album, Straight Off the Streets of Motherfucking Compton. Yeah, he was dope. Yeah, I like this album. Nothing like super amazing on it, but generally I did enjoy it. I thought it was a good album. Um, Interesting to hear Mulkey or Markey. The reason why I'm confused in that, I think it is Markey. It just throws me off the spelling. It does. There's no R in it. It's Mulkey. Uh, but I don't know because at the start of the Lynch Mob song, "Go On Bananas," T-Bone definitely says Markey, and there's an interview like skit on this where the woman says Markey over and over again. So I guess that's the right pronunciation, but yeah. Um, yeah, interesting to hear him on here because the only place I knew him before was the second Lynch Mob album, where of course he replaced JD, and the Lynch Mob just broke up shortly after that album and faded into obscurity, which is a real shame. But yeah, I enjoyed this album. If you get the chance to check it out, or you can grab it for cheap, I would. It's pretty good. So Yomo and Marky, Are You Experienced came out in 1991. Um, yeah, let's see. I'll put CDs there. Next album, keeping it West Coast, we've got the Comrades with their self-titled album, debut album came out in 1997. I'm not sure if they have any more albums after this. They probably do. I just don't know of them. These guys were affiliated with Mac 10 and West Side Connection. They were actually featured on West Side Connection's Bow Down album. On the last track, the Who banging West Side Connect Gang remix, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so this is their debut album. Pretty dope. The actual MCs are pretty standard. They're good, but they're pretty like not nothing that amazing. But the beats on here are dope, and yeah, my favorite song on here is "Play a Hater." That's a really great song, and yeah, the song "Hey You" has a really dope Amp Banks beat on it. So the Comrades self-titled album came out in 1997. Go check out it. Next album, following up. I have multiple follow-ups from last time, if that makes sense. This follows up from the last Gangster album I got. This The Owners follows up. This was their album after what's that album called? Moment of Truth. 5 years afterwards. This came out in 2003. Very good album. I know some people have mixed feelings on this album online. It seems some people seem to think it's kind of weak compared to the other ones, but I thought it was a very good album. Maybe the beats are not as like they kind of feel like on some songs like watered down Moment of Truth beats, but I still think they're dope anyway. And Guru does his thing as always. My favorite song on here is "Peace of Mind." That's my favorite song. Love the beat on that, and I love that intro of Primo getting at all the radio DJs. It's fantastic stuff. But loads of great songs in this, like "Put Up or Shut Up," "Right Where You Stand," "Skills." Yeah, Who Got Guns like that. Capture, Militia Part 3. I really like this album. I thought it was dope all the way through, and it's not as long as Moment of Truth. It's an easier listen. It's like 55 minutes or so. So yeah. Sadly, this is their last album before they split up. They had Guru and DJ Premier had their differences and things like that, and unfortunately, they never got back together again before Guru passed away in 2010. Rest in peace, the Gurus. So yeah, sad way to end things, but at least they ended off with a dope album. So, yeah, that's Gangstar's The Owners. The only album I need to get from them is No More Mr. Nice Guy, and I also want to get the full clip compilation at some point as well. So yeah, that's The Owners. Came out in '03. That just fell off. Next, I have Dubsy's Revenge of the Barracuda. This came out in 2011. This is his fourth like solo album, you could say. Um, Dope album. I like it. The second half isn't as good as the first half, but I think this is a pretty good album. The thing that I like about Dub C is that he really hasn't changed that much in the last 20 years. You know, he still has that dope voice and that dope flow that I like from him. And yeah, some of the beats in this are pretty good. My favorite song in here is probably "What's Good," which has cocaine on the hook. I really like that song. The first track, "Revenge of the Barracuda," is an awesome intro song. You Know Me, featuring Melee and Ice Cube. That's a good song as well, though I don't actually like Ice Cube that much on it. But yeah, I think it's a good album. Not his best or anything like that, but worth checking out if you're a Dub C fan. Hopefully, he puts out an album someday soon. Yeah, that's Revenge of the Barracuda. Came out in 2011. I don't know where to put CDs here. I'll just put them there. Next, following up from that is Daz in Dub C, West Coast Gangsta Shit. This came out 2 years later in 2013. The same thing that I've said for Dub C is the same with Daz. He hasn't actually lost it either. He can still rap as well, and they're both good. The only thing that lets this album down a bit are the beats. They're not all bad. Some of them are pretty good. The song "Don't Get Wet" is a highlight. It's a very good song, and it has Battle Cat on production. But the rest of the songs have like no name producers, which is fine. But the beats aren't fantastic on this album, but it's pretty good overall. Songs like "Don't Call It a Comeback" and "Rollin' Smoke" and "Blam Blam," like it's a pretty good album. I do like it, but yeah, definitely check it out if you haven't. Surprisingly good is what I would say. Surprisingly good. So that's Daz and Dub C with West Coast Gangsta Shit. I like that title as well. It's like to the point. You know exactly what you're getting when you pick up that album. That came out in 2013. Next album is a classic. No one, everyone knows this artist and this album. Redman, What the Album came out in 1992. This is clearly an OG because it doesn't have the horrible Def Jam remastered classic thing on the side, and it also has this like import sticker and it has a price sticker of 18.99. That was a lot of money, especially back in '92. Jesus, you had to pay up to get albums back then. That's the thing that you know, guys that live in the US don't appreciate sometimes. From my understanding, it was hard to get albums over here. You know what I mean? A lot of them did not come out over here. So yeah, enough about that. Really great album. Everyone knows songs like "Time for Some Action," "Tonight's the Night." Uh, "Blow Your Mind's" a great one. I really like the song "Rated R." "Jam for You." It's a really good album. "The Day of a Superman Lover." It's a very good album. I love the production on here, provided by Eric Sermon. Uses like a lot of familiar samples, but the sort of P-Funk samples, but they're delivered in such a grimy way. And Redman's great as well. I need to get more of his albums. The reason why I got this is like, why do I not own any Redman albums? It's like, I don't know. I just was like, I need to sort that out. So yeah, I got this, and I will slowly get more of his albums in the future. So yeah, that is what the album came out in 1992. Speaking of Eric Sermon, I'm really happy to get this is actually from Christmas. That's how like scatterbrained my videos are. Some of these are from ages ago. I just haven't shown them yet. This is from Christmas. EPMD, Strictly Business. Glad to finally have this album. I saw this version in person, like a while ago, like in 2015. But I didn't get it, and I sort of regretted it because I never really see this version, the 25th anniversary of edition. The one that I usually see is that horrible Snoop Dogg approved one. It's awful. But this one is good. You got a nice proper cover, and it's remastered, so all the songs sound great, and it even has like bonus remixes and things like that. Really good album. Love the song. You Got to Chill. It's My Thing is dope as well. The thing that I like about this album is that it has a lot of familiar samples, but like they were, ahead of their time. The samples, they use. You'll recognize the samples, but from like songs that came out later, and later on in life, and you're like, oh, this sort of thing. Really, really good album. I prefer their later work, where they got a bit they had like a harder edge to them, and I think they got a lot better as MCs as well. They're very monotone on their early stuff, but still a dope album. Like I said, dope production, and just a great album overall. So that's EPMB's Strictly Business, came out in 1988. I think I forgot to say it earlier, but yeah. Next one is DFC with Things in the Hood. This came out in 1994. These guys were closely affiliated with MC Breed. They were actually on MC Breed's first album. It's actually credited MC Breed and DFC, but as I said before, when I showed off that album, I don't remember DFC on it at all. It's pretty much an MC Breed solo album. But yeah, this is DFC's debut, you could say. Um, Despite that, MC Breed actually appears throughout the album, uncredited. The song that most, well, not most people, but some people will know is the song Caps Get Peeled with MC8. You can tell immediately as soon as that song comes on is that it was produced by MC8 and DJ Slip. It just has their sound all over it. It sounds like something that would have been on We Come Strapped or something like that. It has their sound all over it. But pretty good production. It's got production from like Warren G and MC Breed and the DOC I think does a beat on here as well. It's actually a pretty good album. My favorite song on here is "You Can Get the Dick." That's my favorite song. But yeah, it's pretty good overall. Nothing that amazing, but it's pretty cool album. So that's DFC. Things in the Hood came out in 1994. Next one is one of my favorite discoveries of 2017 so far. It's not new or anything, but yeah, I discovered this artist earlier on this year, and I really like this album so much that I had to buy it. So it is Mr. Mike with his debut album Wicked Ways. This came out in 1996. Really dope album. Southern artist who was signed to Suave Records. Most well known for having April and MJG. He was actually a part of a group called South Circle. Actually says that there on the cover if you can see it. Yeah, Mr. Michael South Circle. They put out an album in '95 called Another Day, Another Ball, I believe. I'll probably check that album out soon, but yeah, check this out. I love the front cover. That's what enticed me about it. It's like I love that sort of spooky blue cover. I know some of the pen and pixel like album covers are really over the top, but this one's cool. It's definitely one of my favorite ones. And the sort of dark cover matches the music perfectly. It's got like that dark G funk sound that I really like. I think like 5 or 6 beats on the album are done by EA Ski and CMT, which is really good. EA Ski actually raps on the song Southwest, which is a really dope song. Ice Cube makes an appearance on here on the song Wicked Ways. April and MGG are on here as well. It's a very, very good album. I love the production on it, and I think Mr. Mike is a very dope MC as well. He's got like a dark sort of menacing voice that fits the production very well. So definitely check this album out if you haven't. Shouldn't be too expensive either online. I mean, it's not cheap, but you know what I mean. It's not one of those albums that goes for an arm and a leg either. So that is Mr. Mike with the album Wicked Ways. So definitely check out more of his stuff at some point. I actually have heard him before, without realizing that he's on the Thicker Than Water soundtrack, which I have, but I just didn't really notice him on that. But yeah, very dope album. Next up, speaking of Ice Cube, bit of a loose connection, but this artist is affiliated with Ice Cube. It is Don Jaguar with Faded. This album came out in 1994. Don Jaguar is the guy. He's probably most well known for working with Ice Cube on the song Wicked. He did the hook for that song. A pretty good album. I'm not like a big fan of like raga like vocals, you know what I mean, that sort of style. It's not really my thing, but I really like the production on this album. It's got sort of that sort of dark, dusty kind of production that I like. There's a couple of like smooth like R&B tracks that I'm not really they don't really fit on this album, but the song "Skank with You" is one of my favorites, and that song actually features Tupac. He sort of tries to do that sort of style along with Don Jaguar, but I don't know if it quite works. I think Spice One probably would have done a better job of that, but yeah, pretty interesting here. Tupac on here. Who Do You Fear was the main single from this one. Uh, Pretty good album. I mainly got it just because it was really, really, really cheap, like absurdly cheap on Amazon for some reason. So yeah, it also has one of the biggest parental advisory labels of all time. Yeah, it's a pretty good album. I like the beats, and he matches the production quite well throughout most of it. So yeah, he was actually signed to the Street Knowledge or Lynch Mob Records, whatever you want to say. It says Street Knowledge in the back here. But yeah, pretty good album. I don't know if he ever made any more, but yeah, that's Don Jaguar with Faded. Came out in 1994. This next one, this is I think this is all stuff that I got in person. The first, hold on. Yeah, I need to grab more in a moment here after I get through these. Yeah, there's a lot of CDs. The first one I'm going to show off here is Onyx with their second album, All We Got Is Us. This came out in 1995. I was shocked to see this in a charity shop, in my second favorite charity shop, because you're digging through and it's mostly like Robbie Williams albums and like like the shit like CDs that you get with like Sunday newspaper and like classical albums and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden you see this, bam, Onyx, and yeah, very good album. I think I like this more than their second album. This is darker, more serious, and I just really like this album. I thought the production was brilliant, and yeah, it's a very good album. My favorite song is probably either Purge Snatches or Shout. They're actually right next to each other in the track list, and they're both very good songs. I like Last Days as well, and yeah, really good. It sort of tails off a little bit towards the end for me, but maybe I just need to listen to it more times. But I thought this was a very good album. It's like if Flatliners made a second album, it would probably sound like this. You know what I mean? It's a very dope album. Glad to find it in a charity shop. That's Onyx with All We Got Is Us. Came out in 1995. Next up, we got their debut, Back the Fuck Up. The reason why I'm showing them in that order is because I got these on the same day, but I actually found that first. So yeah, so when I went to the music shop, which is actually closing down by the way, so I'm sort of making the most out of it while it's still there. It's closing down in February, so yeah, when I walked in and saw that this was in the free for 10 section, I had to pick it up because I thought might as well. You know what I mean? I don't really, I like having, um, the what am I trying to say here? The previous album, if it's like a second album or whatever, Excuse me. Um, I really like this album too. It would be a fantastic album to listen to if you were getting ready for a boxing match or something like that. It's a great album for getting hyped up. It's weird. It's like back then you could be super hardcore but super like accessible at the same time, and that's what the Onyx were able to do on this album. Attack of the Ballheads is one of my favorites. Throw Your Guns was one of the singles. Love that song. Um, Really good. Slam, of course, was like the big single. Everyone knows that song. But really good album as well. I like their second album a bit more. I just like the darker sort of atmosphere on that one. But I thought this is a very good album too. So that's Onyx with Back the Fuck Up. It came out in 1993. I also got this in the free for 10 section. It is what's often cited as a classic. It is De La Soul's debut album, 3 Feet High and Rising. This is, I believe it's like a 2001 reissue. It comes with the album on one disc, of course, and then you've got a second disc with like all different like B-sides and remixes and stuff like that, which I think is super cool. I wish more like reissues were like that, you know. Really good album. I do like this album quite a bit. I enjoyed it, but I don't love it as probably as much as other people, and I think a part of that is probably just me not listening to it enough times yet. The thing is, I respect that they were like the first to do skits and stuff like that, but some of the skits in this album are I could do without, like De La Orgy, you know what I mean? It's like I don't need to hear that, you know. But it's pretty. I did like this album, but I have a feeling that I would like their subsequent albums more. You know what I mean? But I thought the production was great, and I like the lyrics and stuff like that. The actual rhyming is a bit monotone, you know, on this album. I feel like they have yet to come out of their shells fully on this album, you know. But I still enjoyed it. Thought it was a very good album, and I look forward to checking out more of their discography. I haven't really checked them out, unfortunately. So, yeah, De La Soul with 3 Feet High and Rising. Glad that I'm finally checking out these guys, and I need to get around to checking out Tribe albums as well. I know, terrible. I'm terrible. What can I say? But yeah, that's that. Came out in 1989. Um, Next, this is the other album that I got in the free for 10 section. It is The Far Side with their first album, Bizarre Ride to the Far Side. This is a group that I actually do already have their second album, and I found that in the charity shop as well. Um, yeah, I like this album. I thought it had great production, and one of my favorite songs in there. Very hard to see this track listing because of the way it's done. Soulflower is one of my favorites. I thought that was a good track. Um, Pass Me By, everyone knows that song. I thought that was great. Um, yeah, I don't like the way this track listens later. It's done in a way that I'll show it here. It's done like sort of like the Liquid Swords thing, where it's like telling a story and like it highlights like the track titles, but they do it properly, where everything's actually in order. Liquid Swords like fucks it all up and it's all in the wrong order. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I need to listen to it more. I've listened to it only twice, but yeah, I thought it was a very good album. I don't know which album I prefer, this one or Lab Cabin California. Again, just need to listen to it more. But yeah, The Far Side, Bizarre Ride to the Far Side, this came out in 1992. Um, yep, I should have had water for this because I'm talking way too much. Next one. This is might be a bit of a surprise to some, but it I got this in the music shop that was closing down, and it was so cheap I couldn't really say no. And this is an album I hadn't heard all the way through, so I thought might as well. Dr. Dre, Compton. This came out in 2015. Yeah, it was only £2, brand new, and I was like, I'm glad that I got it for that price, because by the time I went there again, they were all gone. So I'm actually pretty glad because they had a lot of them there. I guess they were just getting rid of them, but yeah, they're all gone by the time I went there again. So this album, everyone knows the deal. Like this came out a week before Straight Outta Compton, the movie, and obviously everyone was like, "Holy shit!" You know what I mean? New Dr. Dre album, first album in like 16 years. Of course, he was working on Detox, and that never happened. Got pushed back and back and back. And but he put out this album instead, and Detox got cancelled. What do I think of this album? I think some of it is quite good, but I don't like a lot of it. I don't like a lot of it. This it starts off on a really bad note. The song, talk about it, absolutely horrible. Genocide's not much better. Track four though, it's all on me. Actually, one of my favorite songs on the album. Probably is my favorite song on the album. Actually, I really like that song. Excuse me. Loose Cannons, that wasn't too bad. That features Exhibit and Cold 187, which I thought was pretty cool to have him on there. But yeah, I just wasn't really feeling this album that much. It just wasn't for an album that's called Compton. It did not feel that West Coast to me. Um, and it didn't sound that much like a Dr. Dre album. You know what I mean? It felt kind of rushed, this album, to me. You know what I mean? Like they have this, like Dr. Dre had this opportunity, to have a new album out with the Shredder Compton movie, and it felt kind of rushed and sort of put together. Maybe that's just me, but um, he had like loads of different producers on this album as well, which I know Dre has always had help, but that's just ridiculous, you know what I mean? It just doesn't even sound like Dr. Dre. Even Dr. Dre, when he raps on the song, he's trying to on some of the songs he raps with like a new school type flow, and it's just awful. You know what I mean? No one wants that from Dr. Dre. Um, Talking to My Diary was pretty good actually. I like that song as well, and that was actually featured on the Straight Outta Compton movie. During the credits. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the song. I want to listen to it a couple more times, but yeah, not crazy about this album. It's okay. It's got some pretty decent songs, but yeah, I'm not feeling the entire thing. It just doesn't. It's just not Dr. Dre. It's just not West Coast. I don't know. Not really feeling that one. But yeah, for £2, I couldn't really say no. So yeah, this one I got is when I went back a couple of weeks later. I saw this one, and I've left the price sticker on it deliberately so you guys know I wasn't lying on this one. Um, I got Rick Ross's Hood Billionaire for £1, and I couldn't say no to it. You know what I mean? Rick Ross for a pound, hell yeah! I was like, when I saw it, I was like, yes, I'm definitely picking this up. Because as you guys know, like only God forgives, I don't has some stuff on it that I do like. You know, the first like 6, 7 tracks on that album are pretty decent. But then it goes to shit from there. Basically, this album I would say isn't as good as that. This album has quite a lot of trap style beats on it, which I'm not really a big fan of. There are a couple of good songs though. I do like the song "Trap Love." It's not, despite the title, it's not really a trap kind of song. I like that song. I thought that was pretty good. Um, Moving Bass. I thought that was not a bad track. Um, what else? Family's Highs. Probably one of my favorites on the album as well. And Brimstone with Big Crit. That's not bad either. But kind of like the other one. I think I don't mind all those songs. I think those songs are pretty decent, but the rest of the album just isn't doesn't do that much for me. I have to say, not terrible, but not that good either. This is actually, I guess, this is the deluxe version because it's got like the blue cover, which I know in the US was a Best Buy exclusive, and it has two extra songs, Where's Up, and Was Up, and Headache featuring French Montana. Ugh. Um, yeah, the bonus tracks aren't anything good. Don't worry about it. If you for some reason you want this album, don't worry about the deluxe tracks. But yeah, it's got some decent tracks, but overall I don't like it. It's way too long. It's very similar to God Forgives I Don't in that respect. You know what I mean? It's like 77 minutes, and it's like there's a lot of stuff that I wasn't really feeling on there, but there's like 4 or 5 songs on there or something that I like. So for £1, you couldn't really go wrong, and I like checking out new music anyway. So yeah, Rick Ross, Hood Billionaire for £1. So I know this one is long, but I've got more to show, believe it or not. So I'm gonna show it now. Oh yeah, just kick over this stack of CDs, why don't you? Right. Let's see. These ones I got from a charity shop yesterday. That's why I forgot to grab them. Right. Let's see. Right. First of all, I got these. Yeah, got these yesterday for 50p each. The first one I'm going to show is Get Rich or Die Trying. This the soundtrack. This came out in 2005. Never seen the movie. I thought the soundtrack was pretty decent. I thought it was pretty enjoyable. For the most part. Hustler's Ambition is a pretty good track. I like that one. Things Change, Spider Loc featuring 50 Cent and Lloyd Banks, like that one. What else? When Death Becomes You, MOP featuring 50 Cent. It's actually probably my favorite song on there, which is surprising to me because I didn't like MOP when I was a kid, to be honest. But I think as I'm growing older, I realize that I made dumb. What's I was too quick to criticize some artists when I was a kid, you know. Um, what else is on here? Everyone knows the song Window Shopper. It was a big hit when it came out. I'm kind of 50-50 on that song. It's not terrible, but it's not that good either. I actually really like the Tony Yayo song on here. Fake Love. That's actually a great track. I thought it was one of the best songs on there. And the last song, which actually isn't listed on the back, but I believe it's called "Whip Your Head Boy" with Young Buck and 50 Cent. Thought that was a very good song as well. So it was actually not a bad soundtrack. I actually didn't mind it. And it's not like overly long either, you know. I have his album The Massacre, which also came out in '05. My biggest problem with that is that it's far too long. But this is like just a little over an hour, I think. So yeah, it's pretty enjoyable, pretty good for 50p in the charity shop. And the next one is actually another De La Soul album, believe it or not. It is AOI Bionics. This came out in 2001. This is like the follow up to their album Artificial Official Intelligence Mosaic Thump or something like that. Um, so what I've done is that I've basically jumped from 1989 with 3 Feet High and Rising, and I've jumped all the way to 2001. I wouldn't, I wouldn't normally do that, especially with a group like De La Soul. Like I wouldn't want to jump so far ahead like that, but considering I saw it in the charity shop for 50p, I couldn't really say no. But like, I wanted to hear De La Soul like as they, evolved, throughout the years, sort of thing. But I actually thought this album was pretty good. I had like no expectation of it whatsoever, but I thought it was pretty good. I did enjoy it. My favorite song on here is the song "Watch Out." That's a dope track. Pretty interesting features on here as well. You got guys like Devin the Dude on here. Slick Rick's on here, B Reels on here, some interesting features and stuff. I actually thought it was a pretty good album. I went in with no expectations and was quite surprised. Thought it was pretty good. So, yeah, De La Soul, AOI Bionics, that came out in 2001. And these next three, everyone knows who these guys are. You probably either love them or you hate them. I do like them, I have to say, but I don't love them like a way a lot of other people do. That's all I'm gonna say. The first album I actually got for Christmas is the first Run the Jewels album, Run the Jewels. Um, yeah, I thought this was a very good album. When I first checked out when I first heard Run the Jewels was probably around the time when the second one came out, and I heard that song. Oh my darling, don't cry. I didn't like it at first. I was like, what are people hearing in this? I don't get it. Run through a field of dicks or whatever. I'm like, what is this? And like the clubby kind of production, I was like, I didn't get it, didn't get it at all. But then at about May time last year, I did check out this and I was like, this is actually pretty dope. I actually did enjoy it, and yeah, I love the title track, the first song. It's a really good first impression, and I thought it was a very good album overall. Short to the point. This is like the European deluxe version, you could say, because it has bonus songs on it. It has the song Pew 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 and two remixes. So yeah, very good album. Very good album. Maybe these guys are a bit overhyped, I would say, but I do like their stuff. And yeah, their first album, very very good. Next up, I have their second album, Run the Jewels 2. Got this a couple of weeks after. When I first heard this album in its entirety, I was like, it's good, but it's not as good as the first one. You know what I mean? It's not touching the first one. Now that I've listened to it multiple times, I actually think I like it more than the first one. I love the song Jeopardy. That's a great way to kick things off. Blockbuster Night Part 1 is a great banging song. My favorite song on here is Early, the song Early. That's dope storytelling on that track, and I love the hook and everything. So yeah, very good. Run the Jewels 2, then that came out in 2014. This came out in 2013, if I didn't say. And then I did get the new one. I wasn't planning to, but I did end up getting the new one, Run the Jewels 3. And I have to say, with this one, I don't. I At this moment in time, I don't like it as much as the first two. It's still good, still very good. I do like most of it, but I just don't like it as much as the first two. I really like the song Down, which is a lot of people don't like that song, but I thought it was good. Um, Talk to Me, Legend Has It. I actually like all those songs, but songs like Hey Kids, I'm not really a massive fan of that. Stay Gold, I'm not a massive fan of. The thing with Hey Kids, I really don't like Danny Brown. I just can't deal with his style, I'm afraid. Apologies if you're a Danny Brown fan, but not for me. Um, Faves, 2100. I actually do like this quite a bit, but I just don't like it as much as the first two at this moment in time. But yeah, very good. Nevertheless, and the reason what tipped me to get this album is that I'm actually going to go see them in March, so thought might as well get the new album as well. So yeah, this came out in 2017 slash 2016. You know, the digital version came out in Christmas 2016, but this only came out about a week ago. So the physical version, I really like when you open it up. I really like that picture of Killer Mike and LP with Killer Mike with the shotgun, LP with the it looks like a Mac 10. It's a pretty dope picture. Um, yeah, so that's it. I've shown a lot of stuff there. Sorry if that was boring. I don't know. If you've watched the whole thing, much kudos to you. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks to all those who have supported my channel. Uh, it's about a year ago since I started this channel, so I'm really thankful for everyone who subscribed and everyone who's commented throughout the year and stuff like that. I really, really appreciate it. And I see you guys next time. I did a review today, CPO to Hell in Black. That should be up around the time when this goes up. So hopefully you guys check that out as well. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll cut this off because this is like one of my longest videos ever. So thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next time.